this is Heather for Liberty Librarian. How y'all doing? It is another Thursday. Here, I'll put up my name and everything. Wow! Liberty Librarian again. Yes, it was one of those crazy days again, but we're almost done with the week, so I feel like it's going pretty well. How y'all doing? This week I was just trying to kind of get through like life and weirdness and everything, and I found that I am losing steam in the end of the semester. I think it is everybody I know is kind of going through the same thing. And I got a new shirt. I'm just gonna show it off because I'm like, yes. And I already think I spilled like blood or something on it, and I'm like, how do I get blood on me at the library? I gotta stop murdering people probably. But yeah, no, it was I saw Godzilla versus King Kong this week, and it was just what I expected it to be, like an awesome kaiju movie where they fight. And I felt like it was kind of fun, but the human parts were totally stupid, just like all the other movies. So worth a see. I don't know if I would be spending a lot of money on it, but it was a good kind of dumb movie, but the fight stuff was fun. My husband Andy thought that the special effects were like, but I think for what we got, it was fine. The next one I want to see is that Nobody movie. It's kind of like Dad is a John Wick. It's Bob Odenkirk, who I think is awesome. I'm just started watching Better Call Saul. So if you have seen that, know that I'm starting to get obsessed with it. So hopefully I can get more time to watch a few shows. So I'm excited. Thirsty. Sorry. But what else is going on? This week, there's intellectual freedom news. I wanted to try something really weird, and I was torn about it today, but I decided that what I'd like to do is just to see random topic generators. Have you gone through the internet and looked? There's stuff like where it comes up with ideas for things to talk about, or there's AI ones. That's kind of cool. So I just want to show you a few of them, and then we'll see what it does. I feel like this will be like improv night. So we'll try it out for a little bit. If it's total bomb, bust, whatever, we'll find something else. Yeah, I mean, this week was kind of great for the LP. Lisa, hi. You see, I saw that. I was wondering because I was trying to get onto Facebook to check and make sure my show is running, and I don't see it working. So I don't think we're gonna get half the audience today that we're gonna. YouTube's up though. I didn't break the internet, did I? Oh my gosh. I know. I'm looking at it going, what the heck happened? I didn't do it, did I? Well, and I go to work and then, I have great internet there and everything's working, and I come home and I just, my internet at home isn't as great as the work internet. So I always assume it's my internet is making a problem. It's working. Thanks, Bill. Yay, Bill Perkins. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, is it me? Is it all the internet? But I am still having problems with my Facebook coming back up. So it might just be my account or whatever. So you're not wrong. It is something weird going on. But we'll see. So what else is going on? This week, what's this week? I've been watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. I had a few weeks ago I'd finished the WandaVision one, and that's really good. That series was awesome, except I didn't like the last episode. I'm just gonna say that. There's things in the last episode I like. Paul Bettany's Vision is amazing and awesome. I think it was really cool to see Wanda Maximoff kind of blossom as a character, and it made a lot more sense. There's some bonkers stuff in that show. I can't remember the actress's name. Catherine something is the Agatha character. That's a nosy neighbor. She's amazing. So I think if you're looking for a show to watch, that one's definitely good. It's not that scary or creepy, you know. I think that's a pretty safe one for most people. Um, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is actually kind of cool. I'm totally obsessed with both of those characters. I think they're amazing. Oh, Disney Plus, just Netflix. Don't worry. You know, some of these I wonder. You know, Disney Plus is probably worth it, but if you were gonna do it, I would get one of those free ones and just like binge it all, like The Mandalorian, the like WandaVision's worth it. But you know, like I'm sure eventually they're gonna come out with discs, and you know, a lot of times libraries will buy the discs, so there's probably other ways to get it without having to subscribe. I don't have cable at home, so that's like we choose which ones we're going to subscribe to. Netflix is the standard. I also have Amazon Prime, which most of the time is a miss, but like there's been a couple shows on it that I think are worth it. Oh, CRISPR Box has a month trial. Oh, is it CRISPR Box? That sounds cool. I'll have to look at that. I don't turn on the tube much anymore. Yeah, I mean, that was our problem, is like we would watch TV and like bursts, you know. It's kind of like binging, you know. You're like, oh, we have a weekend off, let's watch some TV, and then nothing good would be on, and you'd watch stupid stuff and you're like, that was pointless, why did I watch all this? So we got rid of our cable years and years ago, and so instead we got like Netflix and Hulu. I still have, Andy's like trying to talk me out of it, but then he remembers that they have all this anime on it and we keep it. I like Hulu just because every once in a while they get some weird shows. I'm into this horror series on it called Into the Dark, and it's sometimes really good. They got the Puka ones are kind of fun. I don't know. Is it worth keeping? Like, and then they have The Handmaid's Tale and like all, you know, so they have some really good ones. Like The Great was last year. That was great. So, I mean, like there's Chris Picks. Okay. That's what I'm like looking at. Like, I'm going to look it up, Bill. Thank you for the recommendation. I am always looking for different ways of, you know, getting my shows on, but I'm trying to find cheaper ways to do it because, you know, work makes it hard, and you know, you do 2 shows a week and your time is kind of limited for how much TV watching you got. So I try to stream it in little bits. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't know why they're verses in my mind. They seem like they don't like each other a lot, but I think they're going to be best friends forever. And the favorite thing, it's not, yes, but I'm a librarian. I have tons of books. I know. You think that like I'm watching PBS or something all the time. I wish I actually do watch some PBS. They have an app that's actually pretty good. It has some of these cool BBC shows on it too. So I'm going to say, like, if you don't have a lot of money but you still can afford a Roku, they have some really good apps on there that actually have free movies. Sometimes you have to watch commercials, but not such a bad deal. I think that if you're trying to cut spending, that's a good way of doing it. And then you can go to the library, pick up books. One of my favorite things on my phone is Libby is an app that's through Overdrive. And so I get like tons of free ebooks through my public library. How cool is that? And you can get some videos through there. I think it through Overdrive. Overdrive, you can get videos. I'm still trying to figure out how you can stream it to your TV, but I figured out how to do it on a laptop. So I watch a lot of shows on my laptop just by myself. And I put my headphones on and I'll sit next to Andy, watch a show while he's playing on the Xbox. So like, and then we'll trade off and I'll play Xbox and he'll watch a show on his laptop. So, I mean, there's always a way, but I think we're all super connected. What do I think about RT? RT. My brain is stuck. What's RT, Martin? I keep thinking it's like YouTube, but it's not right. TV show? Well, you're gonna have to tell me because my brain is like catching up. But there are a lot of good ones. Let's see. I'm just trying to think what it could be. Now, like it just derailed me for a second there, but the TV shows are good, but I like to be able to watch them on my own schedule, and it's kind of nice. Like with Redacted Tonight. I'm gonna have to look at that. Redacted Tonight. Oh, I'm looking. A reality show. I haven't seen it. Oh, he looks familiar though. Oh, he's a comedian. I know him. So Lee Camp, he gives news bulletins of the week on political satire treatment. I'm gonna have to look at that. You like it? Is it pretty good? I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'm always looking for something new to like watch and get obsessed with, right? It's always good. So yeah, I mean, like what kind of reality stuff am I into lately? Not a lot of reality. Kara got me into that one where they get married and they meet the person that they're gonna get married to like at the altar, and that's kind of nuts. But that one was fun, but I just got so mad at some of the people in it that I'm like, is this real? If they're really real, there's some mental crap going on there. But yeah, I haven't I think it's because I don't have cable. I hardly watch reality shows. There was a really interesting looking documentary on Netflix about how AI is racial and supposedly communist from Russia. Oh, is that the dude? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that out. That looks actually kind of funny, and they have some stuff on YouTube. It looks like so. I'm gonna kind of go through that and see if there's some good stuff there. I'm always looking, So yes. Okay. Well, I was gonna talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I keep going away from it and coming back. One of my favorite characters is a actor, Daniel Bruhl. I think that's how you say his last name, and he is Baron Zemo in it. And they finally brought that character back this last episode. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to spoil everything. He's in all the trailers, so it's not like you'd be surprised. But he is so good in it, and he blew up the internet this week because there's a scene where he's dancing and he's like. And it's just it's perfect. He's such a funny guy, and he's got that straight man kind of humor, and he's brilliant too. And I think I've read that he knows 8 languages or something. Really smart guy, and he is in one of my other favorite shows that was on. What is that? It's not Fox. It's I have to look it up. It's Alienist, and it's won awards. Alienist is a show what he and I'm gonna just look it up. The Alienist, and there's 2 seasons, and it's based on a series of books by Caleb Carr, and they make it in Budapest, Hungary, and let's see, it's on. I just saw it. Where did I just see it? TNT. That's it. And Daniel Bruhl and Luke Evans and Dakota Fanning are in it. And it's a great series. It's a little gory in parts. So if you're scared of blood, it is kind of a little freaky because there's murder and some child murder in it. So Kara, you can't watch it. But it is pretty dang good. I love that series. We're still waiting to see if there's going to be a 3rd season. And after COVID, who even knows what's going to get made anymore. But I love him in that series. So he plays Baron Zemo in this Falcon and Winter Soldier show, and I am there for it. And I actually think he's the best character in the whole show, and I want him to come back as a major villain because, I mean, in the comic books, he is a major villain. So there for it. I mean, I'm not going to ruin stuff. Sharon Carter's back in it too. So they bring back a lot of the characters that really you haven't seen forever, and you just what happened with them? And I never really liked Sharon Carter before. I still feel like I don't like her. And I'm just kind of curious what's going on with that chick, to make sure, is she good or bad now? It's really hard to tell. But I do love on that show, they kind of talk about themes of PSTD. So as a soldier who had killed people, many of them innocent, he is struggling with feelings of guilt since he was under mind control. And that's Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. So he was an assassin. And then I love that they show Sam, the Falcon, and his family life in New Orleans, and more backstory. I want more backstory in everybody. Like all these characters, you're just like, you see them for 10 minutes on the screen, and you're like, I want to know more about that guy. Now we are finally getting the chance. So I'm excited about that. And then they had a couple of the Loki series that's coming out in June, I think. Late June, early July, something like that. I think it's late June. That one's coming up. And the actual movie is Black Widow is coming up. And I mean, like, we're getting some stuff for once. Thank God. So that goes into my whole theme of, like, today I found out, like, 2 of my concerts got rescheduled again for next year. So, like, Rage Against the Machine. It's like, is it ever going to happen? So, I mean, they said, well, you can get your money back now if you want. Part of me is like, do I want to, or do I want to have the chance to actually go to a concert when it's actually going to happen? So it's hard to say anymore. So I'm just trying to focus on the good in things and go, like, let's go with that. Okay. So that's enough about TV. I feel like I haven't gotten to watch a lot of TV, but the ones I watch, I'm like, super excited about it. So I wanted to try out a couple of random topic generators, conversation starters. So this one's weird. I'm going to do a screen share, I think. Let's see how that looks. Chrome tab. Here's one. This one is called Capitalize My Title. And so this one, it's like a writer's one, so it'll help you, like, come up with a topic. Like, you generate it. You can do it for anyone, a business, couples, family, or for an essay, like an idea to write about. And I thought, like, sometimes you just get brain farts. And this year is a terrible year for brain farts because I've often had, like, what should we talk about? What should we do? And I'm like, who even knows? Like, it's usually like cookies or cake that comes up to my mind, which, by the way, like, I was just at work today and I got a free cupcake just because somebody was super nice to me. And I love that. And it kind of messed up my blood sugar all day, but I think it was totally worth it. But anyway, so you can copy these. You could ask questions on Facebook or Twitter. You could do that. And I think that's kind of cool. And then they said, don't let your mind wander off somewhere during a conversation, which is all the time. I'm going in a million directions. So don't do pontificating, which is what I'm doing right now. Don't ask closed-ended questions that can be answered with yes or no. You have to, like, and why, So don't admit you don't know something. I don't know a lot of things. I know how to look up a lot of things. It's okay. Don't sound like you're competing with their experiences. Don't be like, well, that's great, but did you ever go nude skydiving off of the Sears Tower? Like, that was me? No, I didn't. Be a good listener. Yeah, make it short. So anyway, enough of that. Let's see. Okay, so if I wanted to generate a random topic, are you a saver or a spender? Both. I save, like, lots for retirement, but I spend a lot on stupid crap. What's your middle name? Danger. What's the best way to discover new music? I like going on YouTube. I go on YouTube and I just randomly look up stuff and I find one song and then, like, on the side they recommend other ones and I go down the rabbit hole. I love that. What does your personal hell look like? Oh, this is a good one. What does your personal hell look like? Lots of statistics. I'm going to sit there and do reports for eternity. There's nothing to eat or drink and no bathroom breaks. You have to stay at your desk. You can't stand up and stretch. No cats. No fun things to plan for. You're just doing constant paperwork and it's meaningless. Personal heaven. All the time in the world. Cats that love to cuddle and play, and you just do that. You get to spend time with all your best friends and family, and no one ever gets sick. everyone's happy, and there's plenty of wine and snacks. How about you? What's your personal heaven and your personal hell? I kind of love that. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. What else is there? Oh, and I wanted to say on that one, you can change it to like weird stuff, like business, if you want it to be formal. What's the most awe-inspiring place you've been? Oh, my God. For me, it was in the Lake District in England. I found like a walking trail where they had a little magic creek and a little stone bridge, and it's hard to describe it, but it was the most magical feeling place I've ever been. It was the greenest place I've ever seen. It's like where, it's almost like they put this filter on life, and it was greener than green, and I love that. So that was beautiful, and it was like a place that I'll never see it again the same way. How often do you binge watch shows? Not as often as you think. Like, it's like a couple times a month I'll like binge watch, and also I'll play video games like not for months, and then all of a sudden I'll go obsessively for weeks, and then I'll stop. So that's kind of how that goes. Let's see, couples. Let's see, romantic. How well do you know my dreams and aspirations? You guys, you know, I just want some wine. My dream is kitty cuddles and kisses, so that's all right. Family. Let's see. What foods do you absolutely hate? I don't hate anything, but I don't like rhubarb. Lima beans, not so much. What else? That's about it. Andy doesn't like cilantro. It tastes like soap to him. Has anyone ever saved your life? Andy saved my life once. Lady ran a car into a Taco Bell, and he pulled me out of the way at the last minute. Like, isn't this fun? It's so weird. Like, you can really get to know a lot of people. Essays. What do you do for a living? I'm a librarian. I'm a Liberty librarian. I get paid to tell people how to find things and like be able to work around books and ideas for the rest of my life. That's kind of amazing. Do you prefer popular music or relatively unknown music? Combination. I love ELO, and a lot of kids at my school won't even know what that is. Electric Light Orchestra from the 70s, but if they heard Mr. Blue Sky, they will know it from Guardians of the Galaxy. There you go. So, oh yeah, here we go. Martin, there's going to be a concert at the Shed on April 23rd honoring Dave Brubeck, Eugene, Oregon. You can hear it from outside. I love it. I want more concerts. That's part of my need for joy. So that is a random topic generator number 1. Now, I'm going to show you a different one. That one's like ideas that they kind of just throw in there. So it's human curated. That's kind of a great way. Like if you're trying to come up with something to write, like for writers, this kind of stuff is great. There's hundreds and hundreds of these out there. I kind of love that. Another one, let's see, I'm going to find it, is why did I do that? Let me try this. I'll try this again. This one's called The Transformer. I think that's what it's called. It's kind of weird. Where did it go? Maybe I gotta scroll down. There it is. I'm like, why is it so weird? Okay, so this one's weird. This one's super weird, and I'd never seen anything like it. This Talk to Transformer is an AI neural network that completes your text. So you start typing it, and then it goes with ideas. So like I typed in intellectual freedom news before I got on the air, and it came up with this date, 30th June 2014. The Center for Inquiry filed a lawsuit today in the U.S. District against the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and its contractor, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, to seek access to information regarding CBP's new policy that denies immigration officials. So, I mean, like it picked this. Is it from news? Or is it like, did it make it up? That's what I'm kind of confused about. How about cat poop? Let's see if it'll generate one. Cat poop. Cat poop is an issue in neighborhoods near farmers' fields because nearby cows, sheep, pig, or chickens carry E. coli, which can contaminate the nearby soil. In areas near other rural communities, cats are just one of many animals that can shed and spread bacteria in their feces. Isn't that bonkers? How about Heather Biederman is executive director of the Non-Human Rights Project? Sweet. I accept. How about Kara Schultz? Kara Schultz is a freshman pursuing a degree in cinema and media arts. After graduation, she plans on becoming a cinematographer. Good for you, Kara. Let's see. Rory the cat spends his days. Let's see what he does. Rory the cat spends his days curled up on his favorite chair, reading a book and watching the evening news. He's got everything he wants and needs. But when a certain old man moves in next door, the once tranquil life that Rory has come to know is soon disrupted. Flossie hasn't been on an adventure in years. While her family is begging her to move on, she clings to the past and refuses to let go of the home where she grew up. These are amazing. I kind of love it. AI is neat. So sometimes we get really stuck on a sentence. Like, where should I go with this story? Try Talk to Transformer. And the address on that here is app.inferkit.com/demo. I'm wondering if there's an easier way for me to get there. Let's see. The site is called talktotransformer.com, but then it goes to this kit. So if I type that, I wonder, I'm going to just see. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it totally works. So go to talktotransformer.com if you want to play with that. It's kind of fun. I'm going to post it as a comment. I don't know if it'll show up in YouTube or not. Oh, it went to everything. So if you're interested in that, try it out. I think it's a great tool for writers. Let's see. Oh, and you can do it like there's different settings. So Elon Musk's debut album, I did the custom prompt. You could put sci-fi on. The spaceship was flying erratically. Something was wrong. Death wasn't supposed to do this. He was supposed to. Death heard the spaceship explode, felt the water beside him turn red. He knew what he had to do. Wow, that sounds awesome. And so this is all a computer readiness. This is all a computer. Can't believe it. It's kind of amazing to me. So that was another one, and I just thought, how fun is that? So if you want to try, oh my gosh, it went everywhere. Cool. That's why I love StreamYard. You can do everything with it. Okay, so that one's awesome. This is my favorite one now. And you can just play with it. Just play with it forever. You can change the subject. Lord of the Rings. Legolas and Gimli advanced on the orcs, raising their weapons with a harrowing war cry. Gil's axe met with a swipe of the orc's huge blade, and then both orc and dwarf fell to the earth, one of them with a broken arm. Oh my God, this looks awesome. I love this Talk to Transformer. So this is the fear and the happiness is that you can teach computers to write and think like we do. And I know there are video games that they're developing right now that have characters that have AI in it. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever see the movie Her, this is the problem. People are like already they fall in love with characters and stories. But if your character in a game can talk back to you and have a relationship and know you, how long is it going to be until somebody is obsessed with a character in a game and fall in love with them and want to marry them? And at what point is it real and what point it's not real? So that is another thing. Another one I wanted to show you. Oh my God, my nose is itchy. Sorry. I think I got allergies. Poop. I'm going to look just on the mailing list. Oh, I want concerts, dude. I want concerts so bad. I'm going to show you one more AI, and then we're going to go look at some intellectual freedom news. Okay. Where did I do it with that? I killed it when I was trying to get on Facebook. So, no, that's the end of my AI stuff anyway. So, there is some intellectual freedom news this week. So I'm going to switch gears. And let's see. Which way do I want to go first? I just wanted to mention that one of my favorite news places, besides the American Library Association Intellectual Freedom News website, is they have a site called The Week. And what's nice about The Week is that it lots of news on one page, and it brings from all over the place. And they kind of like bring their stuff in. There's another one. What is that one? The Week was kind of fun. There is another one called, where was that? And my brain went blank. And I go through Google News every day. I have it on an app on my phone because I have like a Google phone, and the evil Google follows me all the time. But it is kind of cool because they'll have all of the news there. The economy picks up, they say, weekless jobless claims higher than expected. There's a pet of the week. I mean, they know me. They know what I like to look at. So obviously they throw some cats in there. They have a lot of entertainment. They talk about COVID because everybody's interested in that. And they talk about how sucky the White Sox were this week. I mean, it's all there. So I like that. But there are other sites that kind of give you that experience. Jeez, Facebook. I'm just waiting for Facebook to come back online. It's still, there, it finally did. Yay, it's not over. Oh my God. Okay, look at this bed. I just had Facebook come up and, okay, I'm going to share this. This is nuts. This is all my random train of thought shit, right? Okay, so on Facebook, what is this? Best searches? Okay. I'm going to show you the most demented bed site I've ever seen, just because that's the way my brain is. It's a terrible thing, but look at these beds. They look like they're spaceships. Nectar beds. These ones like have built-in storage everywhere. There was a decorating book my mom had in the 70s and 80s, and I remember they had a bedroom in it. I mean, she loved decorating books, so it was kind of cool. But there was a bed that was kind of like these, and it was recessed into the floor, and all around it they had shag carpeting everywhere, all over the walls. And it was like that kind where it had different colors in it, like it might have been orange and then like little brown flecks in it. And they had it all the way up the wall. And the weird thing about this picture was there's like, because obviously it was like a mansion back then, and they had like a TV that had came down, and there's mirrors over the bed. So I'm like, this is the most crazy pimp room I'd ever seen. And it was just fascinating. And I'm like, I would never leave that room. But now as an adult, I also like remember it and thinking that was kind of like a porn room, wasn't it? But when you're a little kid, you don't know. Like, this is obviously for sex. But I was like, wow, think of the awesome pajama parties you would have in that room. It's just great. And now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, that can't be. That can't be. So anyway, that's what that's all about. So what was the other thing? Oh, intellectual freedom news. I'm all over the place today. Sorry, kids. I'm trying. So let's see. I was looking at some of the stuff with the best searches. I'm going to get rid of that before I look at it again and accidentally buy a bed. That's not what I need to be doing. So Georgia, the Grand Old Party, the Republicans passed a major law to limit voting amid nationwide push. This is horrible and horseshit. Civil rights groups, including ACLU and AACP, sue Georgia over the voting law. A lot of times I think about it for the Democrat side, but I would like to see more open voting for all parties, and not limitations of voting, and not making it harder and harder for anyone to get a candidate on the ballot and have people vote for them. So there you go. Is there a First Amendment right to tweet? I think we're lucky to be able to talk even online. Okay. The Chauvin trial at the George Floyd, they show why cameras need to be in court. So this is kind of interesting. It's under Bloomberg law. March 31st. They talked about the former police officer Derek Chauvin's trial in Minneapolis. That's up in our great state of Minnesota. Say it's time to allow cameras in the courtroom on a consistent basis. A commitment to transparency and perhaps even in the U.S. Constitution demand it, they argue. I agree. I think that nobody would probably watch it most of the time, but I think having it available and accessible can show when things are going off the rails. However, the reason they don't is because a lot of it is privacy issues. And most normal people don't want everyone in the world to know what they did, or especially if they're innocent. There might be some mudslung, and it might be inappropriate to even have in a trial. So I could see why they don't, but I think having coverage, especially in like where it's government officials, you have police, and if there's chance for corruption, I think it's a good way of just bringing it to light. However, it gets to a point where like who's going to watch it all? So they're rethinking having cameras in the courtrooms. This trial hopefully will encourage Minnesota to also that also do not allow cameras in courtrooms to rethink the rules once they realize that cameras do not conflict with the goals of an orderly court proceeding. I think it's a great way of also documenting what happened, and you can hear what people said and how they said it. So a lot of things that get taken out of context later on can be brought to light. So public access requires audiovisual access. And in this time of COVID, it just shows that even more that a lot of people who are interested in it can actually now watch and participate. And maybe this will get more people interested in the government process and how to do jury nullification, one of my favorite topics. So there you go. So that Bloomberg Law it's an article called Chauvin Trial Shows Why Cameras Need to Be in Court. And I like another one. And where did I go? Oh, sorry. My allergies are bad today. I'm like, maybe that's why I'm all over the place. One of my librarian friends who had been laid off now has a new job in a prison. So I think I've been noticing banned books in prison articles way more than I noticed before. In Florida, there's a website called the Florida Political Review.com. They talk about banned books in Florida prisons. This is from March 30th this year. Banned books have been a point of controversy for about as long as books and the illiterate public have coincided. And I think it's really good to have people who are passionate about intellectual freedom. Intellectual freedom, one of the cornerstones is preventing censorship. And I'm really, really glad to know that one of the people who are on Intellectual Freedom Committee in Minnesota with me is now going to be working as a librarian in a prison, because we need to have more people that stand up for prisoners, be able to have access to information. I mean, like even basic stuff like being able to defend themselves, or at least understand the laws that have put them there, and be able to participate in society, be able to learn and educate themselves, be able to reform in their own way and come out into society. So things like the Dummies books, the whole franchise, I read the Dummies books all the time when I want a basic understanding of just about everything, like computers and legal system. Those have been banned from many, many prison libraries. So this is what I just thought was really interesting. So some books that are banned include books like the Aryan Nation Catalog, which has racist information, the kidnapping and brainwashing of our Aryan children, which has caused some Floridans to call into question the process determining which books should be banned within prisons. So I congratulate my friend for her new job, and I know that every once in a while I'll bring up some news about censorship in prisons, because it isn't going away. But how you treat our prisoners reflects on how our whole society is, and it is very important that we treat people with respect and give people a chance to redeem themselves, which is what the prison system should be. Oh yeah, I just saw your comment. The economy is just so ramping on the West Coast. A little slow today, but I'll get back to it. Yes. 20 plus years in Eugene, no court reporters in municipal court. There should be court reporters everywhere. I don't understand it. So that is one thing. Prisons, we definitely need to make sure that they have access as well. What else did I want to talk about? Sometimes I find articles and I just think, oh, this one sounds good. And then I bring it up and I'm looking at it and going, I don't feel it. Don't feel it. But that's okay. Sometimes you get in there and it's like, there's a lot of good stuff in there, but sometimes you just like, you feel different things each week. So copyright. No. Okay. Disinformation. Okay. Sorry, I'm like looking at this going, there's a whole article. It's kind of based on a podcast called The World of Manipulated Media, where they talk about deep fakes and disinformation. It's kind of interesting. But I feel like I've kind of overhit that. Oh, here's one from the New York Times, though. It's time to revisit the Satanic Panic. I wonder if I'll even get to, because it's, I've looked at too many. U.S. shifted with the anxieties in the 1980s. Baseless conspiracy theories about satanic cults committing mass abuse spread around the country. I think it's kind of neat. Not neat that Satanic Panic happened, but I think it's interesting to show in retrospect when you get people all obsessed with an idea and you get like this whole corner of society obsessed. And it was, sometimes it's certain groups where they like, yeah, everybody who I don't understand. It's those Dungeons and Dragons playing people. They're all Satanists, and they're like, they're not. And usually the people who are doing the real horrific stuff are the ones that believe that kind of crap. And they're like hurting people because they don't understand them or they think they're different. So they must be Satan, Satan or Satanist. And honestly, I tell you, I've met a few Satanists and they're like pretty normal. Like, I mean, like nice people, like some of the nicest people. And in the Twin Cities, the Satanic Church, the Church of Satan, they had bake sales and really good cookies. And they try to look at laws in a more fair and just way and make sure there's religious freedom for everyone or no one, really. I mean, it has to be fair. So I really appreciate them. But are they everywhere in a way like they're trying to eat babies and stuff? No, I've never seen that. Most of the people who are emulating what they think is evil are crazy and they're making up stuff. So just saying, it's interesting. But what I really thought was cool about this article in the New York Times about Satanic Panic is it shows how people can be manipulated into like focusing on a phenomenon in our society, like ritual abuse, daycare panic, because they think like somebody's going to steal babies and eat them, But I also think it's kind of ties into like the movies of the time. It was something that was going through people's mind. You look at all these movies about it. There's so many horror movies that it developed in, and there were serial killers in the real world. So 1980 was a great time for like music and entertainment, but also people just like got out of control with their moral panic. They had to throw their morality on other people. Do you see that happening now, guys? I do. You get the morality and that feel goodness of like, look at me. I stayed inside for 2 years and I didn't see anybody. And I am the most moral, just person there is. And this is the crap that's causing people to get angry, really angry at each other. And it's both sides of the spectrum. You get your extreme people who are going around going, I don't need to wear a mask. I am impervious. And then they clash with the people who like they left their house so they could get groceries. And then this guy's in their face. So you get these two extreme kind of points of view and it causes this explosion in society. So I just look back on Satanic Panic and I think we're in this like on our own like pandemic panic like right now. I mean, it's just crazy. But I think it was kind of neat is the people got obsessed. They said there was a goat man and bloody animal sacrifices, and there's a school employee who could fly, and acts of violence that left no physical trace. Crazy magic stuff. Where did it all go? Did crazy magic stop, or was it never a thing? Was it never real, or is it really? It's kind of like where you get like waves of behavior, like you get lots of UFO sightings. Is it really UFOs, or is it because people heard people talking about UFOs and then they think they saw it? Is it mirroring? And you get certain personalities of people, and I'm sure. Oh, here's a picture. I got to show this. Oh no, I lost it. Where'd it go? No, come back. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to show you really quick. Here's where the Satanic Panic took place in the United States. It's kind of awesome. This is where I am. Is it coincidence? Actually, I didn't live there in the 80s. I was in Iowa. So sorry. But look it was in like lots of the major cities. So that tells you something. Is it because it's satanic, or is it because there were people that just were there? So people would take they'd go to court, and they wanted to they said Procter & Gamble. People were trying to spread rumors about Procter & Gamble because they said it supported devil worship. And this is the kind of stuff you see online too, like in Facebook groups. People, like, they drum up this and they get their friends to follow up. And definitely, it's just crazy. So that was an interesting article. And if you're interested in that, Satanic Panic from the 80s, New York Times is a great story, and it was March 31st that it came out. Really good story. So I just fascinated by that. In international news, women, LGBT people, and students protest for rights in Turkey. Let's see, what was the other one? Oh my God, there's so many like ones that I'm like, oh no. Oh, it's too much stuff. Libraries are key tools for people getting out of prison, even during a pandemic. That's from the Maine Public Radio. Good. And then they said now cancel culture. Captain Underpants author pulls book due to racist imagery, apologizes to Asian readers. It's out of control. All these old books, they're little kids' books, and there will be cancel culture. Here's another one. There are 2 SpongeBob SquarePants episodes that are no longer on Nickelodeon because of questionable content. It's like one was centered on a virus storyline, was never put on the schedule to be sensitive to the pandemic outbreak last year. And the other, removed 3 years ago, was not kid appropriate. So cancel culture is out of control, even with old kids shows. One was called The Quarantine Crab. That's the virus story. They said, ooh, because people are freaking out about the pandemic, we can't talk about any viruses. Lame. And then the other one was called Midlife Crustacean, was removed from rotation in 2018 following a standards review, and they deemed some story elements not kid appropriate. Now I gotta look. Mr. Krabs, the owner of the fast food place, was feeling old and asked if he could join him on a wild night out. They break into a woman's house, take her underwear. So panty raid, that happened. So it's no longer on Amazon. So people are looking at everything, even old cartoons, for what they call inappropriate content. Another one was the graphic novel by the series creator, Captain Underpants, had Asian stereotypes that perpetuate passive racism. So I get that people are being woke, but everything again and again, like they had the Dr. Seuss stuff that said 6 of his books would no longer be published because they contained depictions of groups that were hurtful and wrong. And instead of doing that, we could have learning moments, but they will disappear. So grab them while you can if you want to be able to have discussions with people about old-timey racism and why we can't go that way again. Yeah, that's it. I just don't understand it over and over again. Yeah, ALA has news about diversity publishing and that there's so much going on in the world. Obviously. Oh my goodness. So anyway, that it's just kind of hard for me to look at that. I get tired of cancel culture stuff, especially for little kids stuff, like the Muppet Show last week. It's now SpongeBob SquarePants. I can talk, and I mean, what else will it be? There are moments where you look at things and you go, all the things that bring me joy are gonna all disappear eventually, and I can't stand for all of it. I really feel like we can learn a lot. Oh, Lisa, thank you for watching the show. I don't mind it. We record these shows because I have a lot of friends who can't watch it during the show, and I really appreciate it. This one was very rambly. I think I'm all over the place today. I apologize, but I think if you want more intellectual freedom news, then I can even provide. The American Library Association Intellectual Freedom News blog is a great source, although I look everywhere all the time. We are almost out of time, but I hope that, everything's going good for y'all. I'm so happy you're here every week. I love getting to talk to you all. It's so much fun. And I think, let me know if you get to play with those AI, especially that Transformer one that talk to the Transformer is freaking awesome. I could do that all day. And I think it's just because I'm amazed at how smart it is now. But have you ever used random thought generators to see come up with ideas and that kind of thing? Let me know, and I will see you next week. I mean, really, this the time flies. Even when I'm not talking about anything, I talk about everything. So send me your favorite shows. If you want to talk about it, we can do that next week. Have a great week. I love getting to see you all. It's the best time ever. I can't believe it goes so quick. But I'll see you next week, guys. Love ya.